Hello there. This is it, everyone. The conclusion to this long-running franchise. Starting in 1999 and ending exactly 20 years later. There's been some highs and some lows. But remember that the best of the best was so good. Logan, Days of Future Past, Deadpool. Okay, I guess that Deadpool doesn't really count. We all know that everyone except him will be rebooted by Disney, and when Deadpool meets an Avenger, he's just going to make a joke about Mickey Mouse. But here we have Dark Phoenix, written and directed by Simon Kinberg, and starring James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, Sophie Turner, Jessica Chastain, and Nicholas Hoult. Here we are, the swan song of Fox's X-Men films. So how is it? Not good. To be frank, it's quite bad. Is that why it bombed at the box office? Or was it because of its bloated production budget? Is it because the actors don't really seem to care, except for Fassbender as Magneto? Is it because some of the production aspects look half-assed? I mean, they're clearly not even trying with Jennifer Lawrence's Mystique makeup anymore. It looks like they made her dye her hair red, painted her blue, and put blue tack on her forehead and said, "That's it. That's your Mystique makeup." At least the eye contacts look okay. Is it because of the timeline and the mountain of continuity errors? Or is it because of the really, really bad script? Who knows? I'll be getting into spoilers here and there, but I think that's okay since you haven't seen and don't care about this enough to ever see it. Our story is that the X-Men go into space to save Earth from a solar flare or something, but Jean Grey, portrayed by Sophie Turner, takes on most of the force, and this causes her to, go Super Saiyan, I guess. And the X-Men try to contain her wrath, and, there are aliens. Yes, aliens. Something that were never before present in these movies, and honestly detract from what should be the focus of the story, and that is Jean Grey. This should be a story about mental illness, tested friendships, loss, and trauma, but instead, aliens! Which doesn't work. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised that even if Disney wasn't buying Fox and rebooting the X-Men, that this movie would fail anyway. This movie is set in 1992. The original X-Men was released in 1999. So James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender both have 7 years to look like Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. Fuck this decade-hopping gimmick. You can do it maybe once, but 3 decades? The writing is bad, the characterization is off, the effects aren't too bad, but Storm's lightning effects are terrible. The makeup on Beast is pretty good, but he looks like Nicholas Hoult far too often. What happened to the character arcs from X-Men First Class, where Mystique and Beast accept how they look and do so with pride? Mutant and proud. Except for when their actors get sick of sitting in a makeup chair. You know what? Jennifer Lawrence is pretty famous, so I can understand her getting some bargaining power. But what about Nicholas Hoult? He's nowhere near as big as Lawrence, so why doesn't he need to wear a ton of makeup? Maybe Simon Kinberg really doesn't care. The Dazzler gets a cameo here, but I don't think a lot of people will be impressed. But I guess that some will prefer to Storm, who the film pretends is important, but isn't. The actress for Storm actually complained about the giant cast giving some actors too little to do, herself among them. I feel you, sister. This is rather hard to watch. Nightcrawler has nothing to do. Quicksilver, who was the breakout character from Days of Future Past, is important for one scene, and then he's gone. Oh, and Mystique dies. Really anticlimactically. And really stupidly. Jean just pushes her onto a pile of wood. Oh, just like Logan. That'd be cute, except that just because something worked for one character in one movie doesn't mean that it'll necessarily work in another movie. Also, she's alive in 1999. Or did that never happen? Wait, Jean Grey is alive at the end of Days of Future Past and dies at this movie's climax, but then again, right before the credits roll, we see a fiery bird flying across the sky, so maybe she didn't die. Who knows? This movie isn't getting a sequel, and it's stupid. I don't know whether it's because of a bad script or reshoots or Simon Kinberg just being a bad director. This is his directional debut. Yeah, pretty bad move, Fox. James Cameron's directional debut wasn't Avatar. Couldn't you have brought back Matthew Vaughn or James Mangold or Bryan Singer? Okay, maybe not Bryan Singer, but there had to have been more experienced directors to helm this project, right? Because things just happen for no reason. At the end, one of the aliens kills a guard in front of Nightcrawler, and he lets out a "No!" Why? Did Nightcrawler know this guy? Did they have scenes together? Why didn't they reshoot that? Where's Quicksilver? Nothing makes sense! And we will take a moment to credit Hans Zimmer's musical score. He scored Batman, Superman, and now the X-Men. And he might have scored the best music that the X-Men has ever had. Really. That doesn't mean that you should see this movie for its score, though. Better to just buy the soundtrack album. And I kind of already surmised the whole movie for you, so there's your extra incentive to skip the stud. Dark Phoenix is passionless, half-baked, and pointless. If you want to marathon Fox's X-Men movies, I suggest ending at Days of Future Past. Logan you can watch whenever you want. But as for Dark Phoenix, it's a more disappointing conclusion to a series featuring Sophie Turner with millions of fans than Game of Thrones Season 8.